This channel is for adults and not for kids. Hey guys, thanks for stopping back by. So I've got something to show you today. This is sort of a weird little line of action figures. These came out in 1994 from Playmates. And as you guys all know, Playmates makes the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures. And that sort of short, chubby, little fat, stubby look to the Ninja Turtle figures sort of was used across the board for all of Playmates stuff. Their Dick Tracy figures, their Star Trek The Next Generation figures, pretty much everything Playmates was doing had sort of a squished down sort of look to them. And you can really see it with the Star Trek figures that Playmates did. Some of their sculpts looked really good and look very close-ish to the characters they were trying to do, but they never really seemed to get away from that sort of kiddie sort of proportions. And that's used here too. So in 1994, Playmates came out with these to correspond with a cartoon called Monster Force, which had all the Universal monsters in it. There are a few other figures. Actually, I only own 3 of these figures. I never picked up the others in the line. There's some good guys, and there's a Frankenstein, who I think Frankenstein was a good guy, but I never really liked the look of him. Of course, I had to get the creature from the Black Lagoon, which it is called the creature from the Black Lagoon. He comes with this cool little stand and a little treasure box full of jewels. And you know, everything in the 90s was extreme, you know. I think the 90s owed that look to Todd McFarlane. But I do like the look of this creature. It's a cool looking little monster toy, even if he is sort of stubby. Get a better look at him. But yeah, so he's got, you know, he's wide. He looks like the creature has been on roids. But like everything in the 90s had that sort of roided out, extreme look to them. Hang on a second. He's got sort of a pearlescent sort of paint job. So he's this really pretty sort of aqua teal color of green. And these hints of like a purple that show up when the light is just right. And that's kind of neat. I like his fishy face. They didn't go too apeshit with the extreme stylization of his face. Like, it still kind of looks like the creature. He doesn't have like horns or giant sets of teeth or anything. He's got these big feet. It's a cool little figure. I like him. he's very Ninja Turtle-ish looking. You know, the whole line is. And you can put him on his little base. I don't think they made a mummy. I mean, they might have, but I don't remember a mummy. So I've got another one there. That one, or one of them, used to be on my desk at work. And then this is the San Diego Comic Con Night Creature, which was an exclusive. No, I'm just fucking with you. I painted this. Black and a metallic sort of midnight blue. Why? Because I had an extra. I need to touch him up, it looks like his nails. Yeah, I gave him sort of a black and midnight blue sort of coloring. But yeah, I can see he's gotten banged up a little bit. I'm going to have to touch up that paint job a little bit. I can see his hair on the edges of his fins is starting to poke through. But that was like 30 years ago that I painted that thing, so it's only natural you got to go back and touch up stuff. Anyway, that's the creature. Next up is a stubby Dracula. I do appreciate how they each came with their own little like diorama, or you know, they would have this cool little stand with their name, and then you would cut out a piece of the box, you know, the back of the box, and it would give it this sort of monster scene. He comes with this cool little bat, but there was something fit into that hole, and the bat would rest upon it. I mean, it's a tombstone. I'm 99% sure it wasn't a cross, because that wouldn't make any sense, but there was definitely something that stood out of there, and this bat stood on top of it. But I no longer have that piece, whatever that was. Let's look at Dracula. Or you could just completely fall down. That's cool too. He's got blue in his hair. I have a buddy at work who is, I don't know, 15 years younger than me, something like that. Anyway, maybe 20 years. Anyway, he's a 90s kid. And I was talking about these toys, and he was like, oh my God, I loved those. So, you know, the nostalgia that I have for stuff from the 70s and 80s, you know, there's a huge nostalgia wave for people that were kids in the 90s too. And my buddy was like losing his mind over these things when I brought them up. He was like, oh yeah, I used to have all of those, and I don't know. It's cool. I like them. The last one I have is the Wolfman. And I don't know if they called him Larry Talbot on the show. I don't even think I've ever really seen the cartoon. It was one of those things that I was aware of. And I saw the action figures, but I don't think I ever really sat down and watched the cartoon. But I think the Wolfman is a good guy. Yeah, he's got that Monster Force belt buckle, so he's got to be one of the good guys. He's got an alright looking little face sculpt. Look at his hair. That's hella 90s. Just, that's funny. I don't know what went here, a weapon or a walkie-talkie or something. I still have the chains though. But yeah, there is a Frankenstein figure that I do not own. And then there's a few humans who were on the Monster Force, and I don't have them. I just have these three. Do you guys remember this line of figures? Do you remember this Monster Force? They're cool little monster toys. They're universal monsters, so I have to own them. Even if they are sort of short and stubby, they're still cool. And they're monsters. And they're the universal monsters, so. Let me know if you guys remember these figures. If you guys have these monsters. Let me know if they ever made a mummy. I don't think they did, but maybe they did. Alright guys. I got some more stuff planned to film that I will be back at you very soon. Happy Halloween.